Everyone. Thank you for joining us at the Progressing Together meeting. My name is Via Podaca. I'm the Federal Special Programs Coordinator. Ms. Flor Sanchez is attending a training and a special, and that's why she's not here today. Before we move on, I wanted to remind you to please keep your microphones off to respect the audience and the presenters. Also, if you have any questions, you can add them in the chat. You also can wait at the end of the presentations. And Mr. Horacio Hernandez will open the microphones for any questions you have for us. I would like, before I introduce, I would like to welcome Ms. Michelle Garcia for being part of our attendees or one of our members. Thank you for being here with us. Now I have the pleasure to introduce Dr. Segovia, our Associate Superintendent from San Elizario, that he's going to provide some messages and announcements for you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Apodaca. Thank you very much. Welcome all, welcome parents. Thank you for joining us today. You'll find very valuable information coming to you by Mr. Obed Hernandez, and after that, our librarians, two of our librarians will be presenting some information today. Isn't this today Dr. Sue's birthday or something like that? I don't know. The librarians will let us know when we get there. But a few announcements before we get going with those presentations. The first one that we have here in the agenda is that we will have senior sign distribution Thursday, April 1st, 2021. So we're ready to celebrate with our seniors, right? So if you're a parent of a senior, please know that we're going to be around and we're going to be, being loud and noisy, and we're going to take you a sign for your seniors. So that's the date, April 1st. We also want to remind you, we do start intersession, spring intersession, starting March 8th, and it'll go all the way through March 18th. So that's the next 2 weeks coming up. So mark your calendars for that as well. We also want to invite you to the Board of Trustees virtual board meeting this Wednesday, March 10th, 2021 at 5:30. So there'll be a board meeting. It's going to be virtual. So we invite you to log on at 5:30. March 22nd, we do have the El Pasoans Fighting Hunger food bank distribution. So we will be back again. We had to postpone last time because of the snow, but we're back and going. So please pass the word. We will have the food distribution March 22nd here in our district. A reminder that Alarcón and Borrego will have their parent-teacher conferences coming up Thursday, March 25th. And then Loya Zambrano, they have their parent-teacher conferences coming March the 30th. So please mark your calendars for that. So make sure you have your calendar all marked up, right? We will have early release Thursday, April 1st. Just a reminder that that is an early release day, April 1st. Because the next day, on Friday, that's Good Friday. So there is no school on April 2nd. Okay, and then just to let you know, we do have a survey that went out already to our parents. This is the third opportunity for the 4th 9 weeks to opting into online or remain, to opt into face-to-face or remain online. So we did send out a survey. If you are currently, you have your child at home and you want to now bring him to school, you may. We are open 5 days a week. The schools have been open for a while. Just let us know that we're prepared for your child. So those are the announcements there that we have for you. A lot of dates to remember. But now we're ready for the main event, and we're going to hand it over to Mr. Obed Hernandez. He's going to be talking to us about some cool things to do with our Chromebooks to help our kids kind of move that Chromebook a little faster. How's that? Did I do good, Ms. Apodaca?
Of course you did.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So Obed, your mic is off.
There you go. Sorry, a lot of buttons to press. All right, well, welcome everybody. Thank you, Dr. Segovia, for the introduction. I am going to show you some tips that you can do with your kids. And you know what? You can do it for yourself as well. Now that everybody is using the internet, now that everybody is really, we're all online, we're all doing virtual things. So I'm gonna give you some tips that you can do just to like, for your students, so they can be a little bit more efficient online, and also for you for the same thing. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna be looking at updating Chrome, right? And why are Chrome updates important? Well, you know, with every new release of a Chrome update, you know, there's some security features, there's some functionality features that it just makes Chrome work a little bit better, or some things become outdated and Google has to update it. So what we would do in order for us to update Chrome is we would go to the, and I'm going to move this right here. I'll put it on this side. We would go to a tab, we open up a tab, and in the top right, there's like three little dots. We would click the more options button. We would click that, and then we would go to the settings feature, and then we would select settings. And here we would find the option that says about Chrome. This is where we will look for our Chrome updates. Once we select about Chrome, it will tell you there in the middle if you are updated or not. Right now, I'll have the most updated version. And if it wasn't, it would tell you to update. Just know that if you update, if you want to do it right now and there is an update, if you select it, it'll probably kick you out of the meeting. So just be careful on that. Try to do this. This will be recorded, and also have some YouTube videos that we will share in a more to help you if you need to go back to it. But once this is on a regular PC, but if you were in a Chromebook, the only thing that would be different, it's going to say Chrome operating system settings. You would select that, and then it would ask to check some updates, and it would check for updates, and if it's fine, it'll say that you're up to date. If not, it will ask you to update the Chrome. So that is, again, for functionality, for security, for websites to just work a little bit better, we want to update our Chrome. The next tip that I'm going to tell you is cleaning up the Chromebook. The majority of the students from 8th grade below, and some high school students, they have Chromebooks, right? And what I mean cleaning up is our Chromebooks, and Chromebooks in general, don't have that much storage capacity as a desktop or a laptop. So sometimes we need to clear up all those downloads that our students are doing on those Chromebooks, so it could run a little bit better, and for it to be able to function, we need to download something that's a little bit bigger. And I experienced this firsthand when I was in the classroom and I had the Chromebooks, the old, like 4 or 5 years ago Chromebooks, and they would just kind of like slow down. Well, we needed to clean up because there were several kids using it throughout the day. We had to make sure that every kid was cleaning up their downloads on that particular profile. So the way that you do it on a Chromebook, it looks a little bit different, is we're gonna go to like this little menu option that's the bottom left. Once we select it, we're going to select files if it comes up. If not, we can just search on files. And it's going to take us to this screen. And in this screen, what we're focusing on is that we're focusing on these downloads. We would select the downloads. And I got it back. We would select the downloads option. And then it will give us all the files, from videos to audios to pictures that the kids downloaded that weren't assigned through Google Classroom. Maybe the teacher gave them something else to do, or they had to download some pictures, whatever it may be. They need to select all those, and here I'll take you through it. We need to select all those downloads. We go to downloads, we select all those downloads that we don't want, or if you are worried about eliminating them, we can create a folder on our Google Drive, and we can drag those files into the Google Drive. We can either copy it, we can delete it, we just don't need them anymore. Again, just know that when teachers assign stuff through Google Classroom and they make a copy for each student, that file will automatically be saved on under Google Drive, and we wouldn't have to do this. But there's some things that do get downloaded, like pictures. Say there's a project and the kid has to download pictures. Those things will be there, some audio files, video files, especially the video files. We need to get rid of them because our Chromebooks don't have that much capacity. Okay, and then we're clearing up. And if you are on a PC, you do the same thing, right? You go to your downloads, select all of them, either move them to your Google Drive. We have unlimited amount of storage on our Google Drive. I say unlimited, but I have like almost 2 terabytes, and I still have some. But your kids can save it on there, and then you can eliminate them from your PC as well. Okay, next thing, troubleshooting in Google Meet. All right. Our kids are in Google Meet all day long, right? And sometimes it's slow. And Google Meet has given us a new feature, a new function that allows us to see if our Google meeting is going to go smoothly or not. So on this one, once your student is in the Google Meet, the more option button will be at the bottom left or bottom right of the screen. Sorry, I'm left over here. And you would select it, the more options button. Once you select it, you get a little panel that comes up, and it has all these different functions for Google Meet. But the one that we want to worry about, just to see if our meeting's going to go well, if we're going to be able to turn our camera, if we're going to be able to share our screen, if we're going to be able to put on a background, right? We will go to troubleshooting and help. Okay, once we select troubleshooting and help, it's going to give us 2 different kind of options to help us out with our meeting. The first thing is the network stability, right? Everybody's using the internet. Everybody's using, for the most part, everybody's using Wi-Fi. Very few people are actually using the lines to connect to their devices. So we're using Wi-Fi. And the tip that Google gives us, and this is something that we need to do, is we need to move closer to our router. So wherever you have your router for your home, have your student be close to it or in a place where the signal can go through. Walls can interrupt it and stuff like that. So make sure we move closer to our router to get a better signal. And also just avoid activities that are heavily use of our internet connection, streaming, a bunch of downloading at the same time. Throughout the day, we want to use the internet for the Google Meets that the student's going to be on. So just look at that, and you get a display that comes out on Google Meet right after the general tips, and it tells you how the call quality will be, right? Based on how much signal it's being used. So we want to keep it below 300, 150. If it's above that there's a lot of internet being used at the house, and we got to make sure what is it, and we can turn those off at that time so we can have a good Google Meet. All right, and then the other thing that it gives us is a system load, and this is a good way for us again to know if we're going to have a good quality of call. And this is perhaps the one we get a lot of calls saying, I just kicked me out of Google Meet. I can't turn on my camera on Google Meet, or I just can't do anything. Well, here's where we get to see the system load of how much your CPU usage is being used in your Meet. So 2 tips, again, close all the tabs that you don't need. So a student should be in a Google Classroom tab, the Google Meet, and maybe in the assignment or any other website that the teacher gave them, right? Any other tabs that are not related to that particular class, we recommend that you close them just so it doesn't use the CPU usage. The more tabs you open, the more CPU usage you're gonna use, and it's gonna really slow down your call quality. And the other thing is just any apps, especially that are running in the background with our Chromebooks, is kind of like, it's almost like a mobile device where we do have a lot of apps installed in them. And sometimes they're running in the background, and we got to make sure that they're not running, because that would kind of slow the Chromebook down and affect the Google Meet quality. So a lot of the times when a kid can't turn on a camera is because the quality, either the CPU usage or the internet bandwidth is really low, and it's not allowing the computer or the Chromebook doesn't have that capability to withhold all the stuff that is going on. So just some tips on what to do. And again, we want to keep the CPU usage 50% or below. Sometimes every time we're like switching domains or switching to an application is going to go up, but make sure that it does come down and we're closing things that we're not using. That's just the best practice. And the last tip here is clearing our history, cache, and cookies. And the reason we want to do this, again, it goes back to when we use a browser like Chrome, it saves some information from websites in its cache and cookies, right? By clearing them, it fixes some problems, certain problems like loading and formatting issues. So sometimes when we go to a site and it's just not loading or gives us an error, there's something there in the history and the cache and the cookies that might be preventing it. So we want to do this on a regular basis. Just think about your kid. If they're in secondary, if they're at GEMS, they're going through classes a day, right? And each teacher is asking them to go to a different site, right? And maybe it's not even one site, but several sites per class. And if they do that through the entire day, we visited a bunch of sites, we stored a lot of cache, we had a lot of cookies that were being used, but we want to clear them, right? Every day sounds like a lot, but maybe once a week, we just clear that just so our Chrome experience is a lot better. So the way we do it here, we go back to our tab, open a new tab, go to the 3 options button at the top right, and we go to settings as well. And as you scroll down a little bit through the page, we find something that says clear browsing data. We would select that, and we're going to do 5 things once we're here. We're going to time range. We want to do it all time. We want to select the entire every time they've been on the Chrome. Then we're going to select the browsing history. We're going to select the cookies and other site data, and we're going to select, this is the big one, cache, image, and files. All right, all that we select, and then we're going to select clear data, and it's going to, kind of just start us fresh, like a fresh new Chrome, without really having to uninstall and install it. So those are some tips for you to do to make your Chrome experience, your Google Meet experience a little bit better. And the final tip that I'm going to give you is, and I'm actually going to have to step out here, I am going to show you your internet speed. It's as simple as opening a new tab on your Chrome browser, and all you're going to do is hit internet speed test. And once we go there, Google has its own internet speed test. There's a bunch of them. I think on the S'more, I gave you the Ookla speed test, but this one you just press internet speed test, and we want to run like at 20 megabytes. So just that's maybe even a little slow, but that would be enough for us to have good sessions online. So I'm going to run the speed test for my computer. I'm here in the technology building. Obviously, it should be good, right? But, so this is the download speed. Very good, very fast. And this is going to be my upload speed. These speeds are really high. Our district Wi-Fi right now is doing great, and we're going to keep it that way, right? So I have no problems. I can be running a bunch of devices here, and I'm going to be fine. Sometimes we do run through that is below 20 at 10. So I've seen even ones. Well, that's going to really cause for Google Meets and Google Classrooms to not work as properly. And if you are paying for internet and you have speed of 1 megabytes per upload or download, then maybe you should call your internet provider, because it is something that they should be able to provide, and we want to go a little bit faster so our kids can do what they need to do. Okay, any questions at this moment? I am done with my presentation, but is there any questions that you guys have? Horacio, is there any questions in the chat?
Yes, we had 2, but I already answered. One of the questions was, can we have access to this technology presentation? Very helpful tips for us to the parents at home and with our students with their laptops. And I responded that we will be sending this information via email to parents and students. We will also be uploading a recording of this meeting in our YouTube channel and having it available in our social media.
Yes. Yes, we'll provide us more with my information, with the YouTube videos for my presentation, and also their librarian's presentation. We'll have those for you guys.
And then I also have a question from Ms. Manuela Davis. I'm gonna go ahead and unmute. Go ahead, Ms. Davis.
Okay, I just typed it in the chat. My question was, any updates or anything else going on with the hotspots that we got for our students? Mine's still not being, it's not supporting what my kids are doing. We can only have like one tab open with the hotspot.
So those hotspots, Miss Davis, we have them available for students that don't have internet, you know, that's for sure. But what some of the issues that we are experiencing is the more people jump in into the same um, tower, the more the bandwidth is shared. It's like having, I always want to share the analogy of a pizza. So one pizza among three, it's a bigger slice, right? But if we have one pizza with 10 people, then it's a smaller size. This is something that we've been fighting off with the service provider. I don't know how many kids you have at home, but if you have like more than three, then maybe we can consider an additional hotspot.
So I only have two of them. I try to keep only one on the hotspot and one, we don't have internet our area. So we use the cell phone for one kid and the hotspot for the other. And even like that, it's like pushing it for both of them.
Yes, do you have a T-Mobile or a Verizon hotspot?
We have Verizon.
So you must live close to the border, right? Next to the yeah, right next to the Rio Grande, right?
I live right behind the high school, like right behind it.
Oh yeah, that's another area that we have issues with, and not
Yes.
even Verizon or T-Mobile work there. I mean, we have identified that area and we've let those service providers know, but I mean, what we can do is only push it. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, eventually, I think I had worked at I think Spectrum or AT&T is looking at providing the infrastructure in that area. So, I mean, I don't know if that's going to be a better alternative, but at this point, I don't have a date or anything of
Okay,
that sort that will give you. But I mean, yes, that's our limitations right there.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering if there was any updates on that or anything, you know, that was coming up with the hotspots.
No, whenever we get a report, we let the service provider know, and then we identify with an address, and then I don't know if you want to put your address here so I can share it with them, so that way
Okay.
they know. Please.
Okay, I will do that. Check. Okay, thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Are there any additional questions for Mr. Obed Hernandez? No? Well, if there's no questions, I would like to pass it on. Thank you, Mr. Obed, for the excellent presentation. I would like to pass it on right now and introduce Ms. Jaques and Ms. Rodarte, who they're going to provide information on reading tools. Thank you for being here.
Welcome parents to San Elizario I.S.D. Library Services and Resources. You might be asking why I'm dressed as Cat in the Hat. We are celebrating the children's author, Dr. Seuss. It is Read Across America. I am Ms. Nancy Jaques, the librarian at Borrego Elementary, and my companion is?
Good afternoon. My name is Idania Rodarte, and I'm the librarian at GEMS. On the next slide, I'm going to go ahead and start presenting the librarians from the other campuses in case you need to get a hold of them. Their contact information is there. We have Mrs. Cervantes from Loya, Mrs. Christine Herrera from Zambrano, Mrs. Guerrero from Alarcón, and Mrs. Belinda Munoz from the high school. Next slide. Today, we're going to be sharing the library services that we have to offer to your students. We have the library books, the physical ones. Some parents have been asking for physical books for their students. We do have curbside and parent pickup. And just so you know, we do disinfect the books before we give them to your child. We also have Interlibrary Loan. Let's say that you're looking for a book and I don't have it at the middle school. It is our job to go and find it at the other library so that we can get it to you. We also have the library club at GEMS and the high school. We have electronic books available from several publishing companies. We have Capstone, ISD, Permabound, and Follett. And in addition to that, we do provide library lessons to your students so that we can be able to support the reading instruction. Next.
The schools Alarcón, Borrego, Zambrano, and Loya have Capstone Ebooks. Please ask your child's teacher or school's librarian for your school's Capstone username and password. Capstone allows to share passwords at corresponding schools only. Next, if we could play the next video, shows us how to read books in Capstone. If we could click on the video. I don't hear it.
Hear it either. No, ma'am, it's not reading it, and I don't have it on mute.
Okay, just go ahead and play it, and then I will.
And you'll follow along?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. Let's play it.
Technology, we got to improvise here.
Yes.
It was working. So that is the QR code. You could scan the QR code, or you could go to Capstone website. On the right-hand side, at the very top, you're going to click on Log In. Log in with Capstone Interactive. You're going to put your username and password, and then you're going to click on Go. On the right-hand side, where it says search for books, there you could search for books by a title of a book or a subject of a book, and you're going to click on search. For example, if we wanted to look at a book about cars, we would write down cars, click search, and all the books about cars would come out. But on the left-hand side, if you scroll to ATOS-AR, click on ATOS-AR, you would see the reading levels of the students in each grade. For example, if I have my child in 3rd grade and they are reading at a 3.0 to 3.9, if I click on 3.0 to 3.9, then all those books in that reading range are going to come out. If you scroll down and you click on English titles, then it would only give me the English titles. And if you scroll down and you click on the Spanish titles, then it would give me the Spanish titles. So I went back and clicked on English titles, and then we're looking for a book that you would want to read. Click on the book, and you're going to have 3 different tabs. The summary tab tells a summary about the book. The book information tab gives you information about the book, like the author, the reading level, the AR quiz number. If you click on the tab for more titles from this series, it's going to give you books that are similar to the book that you're about to read. To read the book, we're going to click on Play Book. If you click on Read Book Page by Page, you're able to read the book page by page, and you turn the pages. If you click on Read Book All at Once, then once you click on the book, it's just going to continue reading until the end without stopping. At the very bottom, if you click on Word, when you start the book, the word that is being read is going to be highlighted. Autoplay is that it continues to read without stopping. And audio, that you're able to hear the story as it is being read. So I'm going to click on Word. I'm going to click on Audio. and I'm going to click on Read Book page by page. A Different Pond, written by Roy Fee, illustrated by Thai Boyle. On the right-hand side, you're going to see an arrow. You're going to click on the arrow to move on to the next page. So as you could see, as it's being read, the word is being highlighted. And then you're going to click on the arrow to move on to the next page. I unclicked on audio at the very bottom. If the student wants to read the book on their own and they don't want the audio to read to them. They could also click on Word and the words will be highlighted. To go back to the main menu, you click on the X on the left-hand side. And to log out, at the very top, you click on Log Out. And it takes us right to the beginning. Next slide.
For GEMS in the high school, we have Abdul for the students. On the screen, you could see the username and password for GEMS. The high school, you can contact Ms. Munoz for that information. Next slide. In the video that we're about to show you, I'm going to demonstrate on how to access those ebooks through Abdul.
Yeah, they're not. Give me a second to see why I can't put this on. One second.
Over, can you allow the poly unit to do the sound, or can you do the active panel? Use your computer as a microphone. Maybe we can hear it that way.
Okay, let me cancel the poly. No, I can't. And I think that's what it is, that it's using the, like you said, the active panel. So I am going to disconnect this. Back to my presentation.
Abdul.
Yeah, I was that. It's presenting on the computer, on the active panel, but we're good. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Can you guys hear?
Hi, today I will be showing you
Yes.
how to access Abdul's digital bookshelf. You can access the website by typing abduldigital.com/login. Once you're at the website, it's going to ask you for the username. The username is SE-GEMS, all lowercase. The password is Eagles, EAGLES, all lowercase. Once you type in that information, you can select enter. Once at the website, you can start looking for books. We have books from a variety of genres. We have over 540 books available to your students. You can search by grade level, genre, subject, format, or alphabetical order. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down so you can see the type of books we have available. If you're looking for a specific book title, you can always go to the top where it says keyword search. Today I'm looking for a book titled Empanadas. Once I find the book, I have the option of selecting Open Now or More Info. I'm going to go ahead and select Open Now. Okay, so the book is going to open up and I can start reading the book. You can read the book by simply clicking on the arrows to the right or to the left. You're going to notice that this book is interactive. It has QR codes so that you can watch videos. If you want to save the book to your device, you can simply do so by selecting Save PDF at the bottom of your screen. Once you select Save PDF, it is now going to be saved onto your device, and the book will look like this. When you save as a PDF file, you no longer need Wi-Fi to read the book. So this is a great option for the kids who have limited access to Wi-Fi. Okay, so as you noticed before, you have a variety of books to choose from. Please take some time to show these books to your children and remind them that we do have these books available to them for free. These books have unlimited access. They can be read at any time of the day and they can be saved onto their devices. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me.
The elementary schools Alarcón, Borrego, and Zambrano have a program called Accelerated Reader AR. What is Accelerated Reader AR? AR is a computer program that helps teachers and librarians manage and monitor children's independent reading practice. Your child picks a book from the library at their reading level and reads it at their own pace. When finished, your child takes a short quiz on the computer. Passing the quiz is an indication that your child understood what was read. This is called comprehension. What are AR points? Every book that has an AR reading practice quiz has a point value. AR points are computer-based on the difficulty of the book. Each student that accumulates their points each 9 weeks is recognized at the award ceremony and at AR reading celebrations. Next.
At all the campuses, we offer reading incentives for the kids so that they could be recognized for their hard work in reading. Prior to COVID-19, we had literacy luncheons, and they were provided through with the Nutrition Services Department. Reading camps, snacks from the cafeteria, bowling sports day, carnivals, line dancing, field trip certificates, and reading medals. And once after COVID, we had to adjust and find innovative ways to continue to motivate the students to read. So virtually, we now have certificates, free books, school supplies, virtual games such as bowling, ping pong, sports day, line dancing, reading medals, and literacy luncheons. Next slide. Right here, we have photographs from all the campuses on how we recognize our students for their hard work in reading. Next slide, thank you. We also offer parent sessions and family events. We have monthly parent sessions, scholastic book fairs. We have the San Elizario Family Literacy Fair, World Read Aloud Day. And then today we have Dr. Seuss and Read Across America. And we would like to invite everybody to today's Comic-Con. It will take place from 5 to 6, and the Google Classroom is 2A-BHNMO. So we invite you to attend. Next slide. And there are some of the events that we've had in previous years and in this school year also. And now we have a video on how we are here to serve you.
Hello everyone, introducing the sensational San Elizario ISD Librarian. Here's to remind you that they are here to support you.
Books are wonderful, books are amazing. Let's get ready to read.
Mysteries, biography, comic, fun, learning and thinking through and through.
Literacy is wonderful, literacy is amazing. We are ready to read.
Ebooks, databases, online resources, learning and thinking through and through. Libraries are wonderful, libraries are amazing. We are ready to read.
Read alouds, games, maker spaces, learning and thinking through and through. Books are wonderful, books are amazing. Let's get ready to read. Yay, reading! Let's read.
And if you have any questions, you can ask us now.
Thank you, Ms. Jaques and Ms. Rodarte. And parents, do you have any questions for them right now? This is the time to ask questions. No questions in the chat? No, I don't see any more questions. So I would like to pass it on to Dr. Segovia right now. I know he's gonna do an announcement on the continuation of instruction.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Apodaca. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez, Obed, and to Ms. Jaques and Ms. Rodarte for their presentation. Is very informative. Muchas gracias.
Dr. Segovia,
Mr.
if you allow me, I'm going to mute the mics in case somebody wants to ask a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me make a brief announcement and then we'll take questions from parents because there might be questions regarding the announcement. Just to remind all parents that our schools are open. If you are wanting your children to be in school already and want the full week, full 5 days, all you have to do is let us know, let the campus know, and we can make arrangements with you. Okay, so I did want to make that announcement. Any questions regarding any of the presentations or anything in general? No questions? I do want to mention something that there was a question earlier in the earlier session, in the Progressing Together session in the morning, and I do want to just present that information here so that you get the benefit of the answer as well. The question is, what is the middle school doing to prepare our kids going into the early college high school? Because we're working very hard to open up our early college high school here next school year. So the answer to that is Mr. Salcido is bringing in the AVID program, and the AVID program is a wonderful opportunity for students to learn how to be college students at that early age, right? So it does have, it does talk to the students about or helps the students organize themselves with taking care of their notes and college note taking, how being organized is important. And so those are the skills that they're going to take over to once they get to either the early college high school, if they opt into it, or if they apply to it, or if they, once they get to college, right? After high school. So there's skills that are in this Avid that they're gonna learn, and it's gonna help them out. The other thing we're doing is we prepare them for the TSIA, and this test is to ensure that the students are college ready. And so in order to take a dual credit course, the student needs to get a certain percentage. And once they meet that percentage, then they're eligible to take dual credit courses. And so that's what we've been doing. Everybody is working hard at the middle school to ensure that our kids are college ready. And if they apply to the early college high school, then at that point, they would, if they get admitted, then they would be ready for that. So any
Mr.
other
Segovia.
questions? Yes.
Ms. Garcia, on the agenda, it says that the sign distribution is Friday, March 5th. You said it was April now?
So the sign distribution for the seniors is going to be April 1st. April 1st. We did have to make a change to the date, so it's going to be April 1st.
Thank you for clarifying, Mr. Segovia. Good job.
Thank you, no problem. Thank you. Thank you for asking the question. Any other questions?
Dr. Segovia, I put on the link this morning with the information of today's presentation, some of the videos that I presented, and then the information of the librarians.
Thank you.
Just in case.
Any other questions? Anything else?
Thank you to our librarians. Great job. Cute outfit, Ms. Hawkins.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, parents, for coming and joining us. It was a pleasure.
Very good. Very good. Very good to all. Thank you for joining us. We're excited every time you join us for information sessions to share ideas as to how to improve our skills with technology. That's important, right? I know that I need some of those sessions, so I learned a lot today to go back home and kind of clear those Chromebooks at home, and also how to look up my favorite books, right? My favorite books from Dr. Seuss that I need to, Green Eggs and Ham, I think.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Hernandez, as well.
Yeah. So if there's no other questions, thank you. We will have another session coming up next month, and we're excited to see you then. Ms. Apodaca, anything else that we forgot?
No, that's it. If they don't have any questions, I think we can close the session. I just want to thank Mr. Abel Garcia, Ms. Rodarte, and Ms. Jaques for the excellent presentation, very informative. I learned a lot as well, so I appreciate that. Thank you for being here, and to the parents, just keep an eye on the next Progressing Together meeting, and I appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
And no fasting for so long, guys.
Only 5 days you can join us.
Okay.